Revelio. Revelio. Brilliant.
I don't find potions bearable at all. I'd swear we've been...
How did you get on with those tasks?
Madam Kagawa, I completed the list of tasks you assigned.
Wonderful. I trust you became more familiar with your broom through the process?
Yes, Professor.
That's good to hear. Keep it up, and perhaps one day you'll have a spot on the Quidditch team. If Black ever permits Quidditch again. Well, with those tasks out of the way, let us get started. Glacius. Pay attention to your wand work. Well done. I'd recommend that you practice your new spell here in my office before taking it out into the world.
Glacius!
There you go.
Depulso!
Hitting them quickly.
Levioso! Glacius!
I think it's learned its lesson.
Incendio!
But you continue to practice as long as you like. Kinesthesia is a powerful learning tool.
Was that intentional?
Have
Nice to see you, my young friend.
Revelio. Revelio.
Glad you came.
I wonder where they go.
I believe you are ready to learn Arresto Momentum, the slowing charm. It allows you to freeze objects or people in midair. Simply complete a few tasks and then come and see me.
Pardon me, but were you saying something?
Oh, hello. Talking to myself. I'm Clementine, Willardsy, charmed. I was musing on the precious butterflies I see near the edge of the forest. Whenever I come near, they fly off into it. When I was at Hogwarts, we truly were forbidden from entering the forest. Told horrible stories about it, and I've had an irrationally intense fear of it ever since. It's silly, but I'm insatiably curious as to where the butterflies go in the forest. You couldn't possibly find out, could you?
You want me to follow the butterflies?
I do, yes, if you wouldn't mind.
What were the horrible stories you were told about the Forbidden Forest?
Oh, goodness, everything from students being mysteriously beheaded to terrifying spider dens. Ugh. Trust me, you hear that at 11 years old. It sticks with you.
Very well. If I have time, I shall see where they lead.
Oh, how kind. Students these days have so much more courage than I ever did. You can usually find me right around here. I hope to see you soon.
I'll say it again. Can't thank you enough for helping.
Don't forget, the butterflies always seem to be on the fringes of the Forbidden Forest. Good luck.
There they are. She wasn't making it up. Well, we've come this far. Miss Willardsy might get an answer about these butterflies. Levioso!
Ah! The lamb returns to the wolf.
Well, well. Look what we have here. Levioso. Glacius. Incendio. Repulso. Levioso. Glacius. Repulso. Incendio. Levioso. Accio. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
Please tell me you have an answer for me about the butterflies.
Hello, Miss Willardsey.
Well, what happened? Did you find them?
They led me into the forest and revealed a treasure.
Oh, how lovely! I'm glad you were rewarded for your efforts. Perhaps one day I'll be able to bring myself to go into the forest. For now, I'm happy simply knowing there's something so lovely to see, should I dare.
Hello, Sirona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. We had a good conversation. He sends you his best.
Glad to hear it. I shan't ask for details of your little chat, and I'll refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be, whatever your plans.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something?
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I don't believe I've met Mrs. Sprottle.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stayed with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
This looks intriguing.
Loud! Stop right there!
Confringo! Accio! One less poacher in the wizarding world.
Don't see myself doing this sort of thing forever, though. Fancy I'll have my...
Levioso! Confringo! Expelliarmus!
Does Hogwarts teach you nothing about
Confringo! Expelliarmus! Protego! Stupid one! Your blood's on Ranrock's hands. Ah, Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle? Revelio.
Bardolph Beaumont should have returned by now. Had by dark wizards he was.
Excuse me, did you say something about Bardolph Beaumont?
I did. I don't think we've met. I'm Dorothy Sprottle. I was just worrying about Claire Beaumont's brother Bardolph, only he's gone missing. Rumour is he was seen in the forest practicing dark magic. Saw him myself near some ruins with Rookwood's lot I did. I fear he got himself into trouble with the Ashwinders, especially if he made them a promise he couldn't keep. I'd help search for him myself, but no one will risk encountering Ranrock's loyalists. They seem to be everywhere.
I can certainly look out for him.
Any help would be appreciated. You might speak to Claire first. Perhaps she has some insights that I don't. I can tell you that Bardolph was last seen in the forest wearing a particular woolen jumper, one that Claire knitted herself. Claire will be at her shop if you'd like to speak with her.
Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect hawklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some hawklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
Believe it or not, I have some with me.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting hawklumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather hawklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Oh, goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some nice memories. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought she might enjoy reading it. I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed, and yet remain the same.
Thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawklumps. I, and the vendors I help, would greatly appreciate it.
unfortunate for you.
Confringo. Levioso. Accio. Glacius. Incendio. Levioso. Depulso. Glacius. Incendio. This must be the cavern Mrs. Sprottle mentioned.
Learned that in first year, did ya?
Incendio. Accio. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
A wand!
Confringo.
Seems your luck has run out.
Expelliarmus. Confringo. Accio. Expelliarmus. Glacius. Depulso. Incendio. Incendio. Levioso. Glacius. Depulso. Incendio. Accio. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Levioso. Glacius. Depulso. Glacius. Depulso. Incendio. The beasts are safer now. Glacius. A castle. Must have been quite stately in its time. Mrs. Sprottle, but I still need to visit the cave to find Sirona's box of... Better have a look around, see if I can find that box of letters. That's all the Hawk lumps for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased. Confringo! Either I'll have to fight that troll, or... Accio! Confringo! Expelliarmus! Depulso, Incendio, Levioso, Confringo, Expelliarmus. Accio, Expelliarmus, Levioso. Confringo! Expelliarmus! Stupefy! Accio! Stupid. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Glacis. Also. Accio. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Protego. Confringo. Accio. Expelliarmus. Levioso. Confringo. Protego. Stupid. Confringo. Stupid. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Accio. Yes. Revelio. Confringo. Lumos. Confringo. This must be Sirona's box of letters. I should take this box of letters to Sirona. I think that's everything. Sirona will be glad to have this back. Accio. Levioso. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
This is almost too... But we
Confringo.
begin. Marvelous strike. You're the little sod.
Levioso.
This is
Accio.
the man fight.
Confringo. Accio. Expelliarmus.
Where did it go?
Accio. Revelio. Accio.
I told you not to go down that path.
Revelio. Hello, Sirona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some hawk lumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I wondered about some of the letters in the box.
Of course. It appears most of the letters were from fellow students.
I saw a letter from someone named Mirabelle. Is that Professor Garlick?
It is. Still one of my dearest friends. I know she wouldn't mind you having seen that letter. She and I are of a similar mind, especially when it comes to young people. We believe experience to be an invaluable teacher. To borrow a phrase from Mirabelle, it's a joy to see anyone blossom, but particularly one who doubted they ever would.
I spotted a letter from you to Mrs. Sprottle. You two seem to have a lot of fun together.
We do. She taught me so much during my summers with her and Aidan. I shall be the first to admit that adolescents aren't always the easiest to understand. And not everyone was as kind to me as the Sprottles. But the depth of their kindness, and that of so many of my friends, got me through... well, got me through some challenging times, to put it mildly.
One of the letters mentions Quidditch practice. Did you play?
I did. Was the Ravenclaw Seeker for 3 years. Oh, Merlin's beard. I adore Quidditch. Nothing like the feeling of catching the golden snitch when your team's down by 140 points. I'll never forgive Professor Black for cancelling it this year. I missed cheering for Ravenclaw.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aidan. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories.